everyone. I'm so excited to be here with you all, and thank you for sharing where you're all from. Super exciting to see such a global audience. Before I get started, I just want to do a little bit of a sound and slides check. Could you let me know if you can hear me okay and you can see the slides? Someone can just put it in the chat. That would be great. Amazing. Thank you so much. Okay. This is going to be really good fun, and I'm going to try and get through as much as I can in the next 20 minutes. If you have questions, put them in the chat and I'll try and get to them as we go through. So, the extraordinary women shaping the metaverse. Before we dive in, a quick introduction. This is me. I'm Caroline. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Lifetise, and we're building the world's first fintech metaverse. And if you're interested, you could find out more about us at lifetise.io and follow us on social media. We have a fantastic community of over 70,000 members on Telegram, and we welcome anyone who is interested in learning more about Web3 and your money. So here's what we're building. At Lifetise, we're building a virtual life simulator, so that you can design the life you want, and we show you how to afford it in real life. So we're using the metaverse for a purpose. So imagine being able to play out all of your life decisions in advance. Everything from planning your next vacation to deciding to start a family or saving for a new home. And then getting a glimpse of what the future holds, so you can figure out exactly what works for you financially. And that's what we're building at Lifetise, a way for you to visualize all the things you want in life and see how to finance them and make them happen in real life. So think of it like the game of life, but where we help you win. So that's just a little bit of background about me and why I'm so invested in the metaverse. And now on to the very important topic. So I've been so inspired putting this presentation together by seeing all these other women building in Web3. And I wanted to share some of their stories with you. And I honestly feel like I have the best job in the world today, because I get to showcase all the amazing things these women are building, and I get to celebrate all of their successes with you. And just before we get into their stories, I wanted to just take a moment to ask ourselves, what even is the metaverse? And if you have thoughts on this, put them into the chat, because I'm always interested to see how other people are thinking about the metaverse space. Because I feel like it's a really great question, what is the metaverse? But it doesn't have a single great answer yet. It's still a little bit vague for a lot of people. And for me, the metaverse is a virtual world where you can create as well as consume. I think for a lot of us in Web 2, we were very much consumers of technology and directed by whatever the platforms were dictating for us. Whereas with Web 3 metaverses is a little bit more open, and we get to build and create alongside the people that make the protocols. And so for me, it really sits at the intersection of games, social, and commerce. And it brings together a lot of different disciplines. So everything from art and fashion to real estate and even finance, like we're doing. And essentially, when I think of the metaverse, I think of all the different ways that we can work, play, and spend both money and our time in an immersive digital environment. And I'm loving the things that you're seeing, like it's the future for education and entertainment, and I completely agree. And then, yeah, it's like the Sims game, but a live version. The Sims was a massive inspiration for us. And also, if anybody's old enough, the old game that was called Game of Life was a massive inspiration when we were putting together Lifetise. So yeah, I'm glad that comes through. Okay. Let's start talking about some of these incredible women. So what better place to start than with a couple of brilliant women using extended reality to make the world better? Now, extended reality covers things like virtual reality, augmented reality, mixed reality, basically all of those technologies that create immersive digital experiences. So this is Antonia Forster, a self-taught software developer who is an expert in immersive technology. And amongst other projects, she's created the world's first LGBTQ plus virtual reality museum. And it is so cool. So it showcases the stories, artwork, and artifacts of LGBTQ people. And just look at it. And the way that it's been put together is so amazing because as you explore the museum, different layers of interactive content appear and respond in real time to your emotions. So it creates this really intimate and personalized experience. And I just love it. Now meet Kai Fraser. So she's a former history teacher who, as an educator, realized the power of virtual reality to engage students and bring learning to life. And she created her company, Kai XR, to bring virtual field trips to students, no matter where they were. So removing barriers to access and making it possible for anyone with a mobile phone or a computer, not even any fancy kit, to experience the wonders of the world. And she's now working on metaverse classrooms, creating an even richer learning experience for kids. It's just so impressive. Next up, let's move into the art world and explore how artists and gallery owners are embracing this new technology to really push the boundaries of what can be done in art. So this is Nanda Chiara. Nanda is a fine artist who has exhibited her works all around the world, including at the prestigious Florence Biennial. And she creates these incredible, vibrant, huge abstract pieces. Now, previously, her work was on physical canvases, and you can see her doing a behind the scenes of some of her work there. But her latest art is a series of NFTs exhibited in her metaverse gallery that you see on screen. And what I love about this is how well Nanda understands color and composition and how she's managed to display her work digitally and recreate the scale and vibrancy of the pieces in this metaverse environment. I think it's like super, super cool. And I think we're definitely going to see more of it. I'm interested as to whether or not anyone watching this has actually experienced any of these kind of metaverse environments for themselves and what they think about them. So please do share that in the chat. And this is Ariana Walla. So she, AKA Ariana the Techie, which is a great Twitter name. And she recently raised over $3 million to build Mushi. And Mushi is a decentralized art exchange that allows you to fractionally invest in fine art NFTs. Now, the art world has often been a very exclusive place and hard to break into, both from an artist perspective, but also from a consumer perspective. But Ariana is using blockchain to enable art lovers to be able to buy like small pieces of the art they love and to enable artists to connect with a much bigger community. So she's really opening up the door to a wider range of artists being able to showcase their talents and get paid for their art directly by their fans. Now, fashion has well and truly embraced the metaverse, as you might have expected, with brands creating rich digital experiences like this one from Rebecca Minkoff, and even hosting fashion shows in the metaverse as part of Fashion Week. And Daniela Loftus is educating the world on the possibilities for digital fashion. And her Instagram page, you can see a few of the images on screen here. It's called This Outfit Does Not Exist, which is brilliant. And as you can see, it is an absolute visual feast. Now, I often find myself looking at the images and wondering, A, what are they? B, is this real clothes? Is it not? Is it just digital? How on earth have they created it? And I find that incredibly exciting. Now, Daniela works with designers and brands, helping them understand how to create and commercialize both pure digital fashion. And by that, I mean fashion that is worn direct to avatar, which is like a whole new industry, as well as phygital, which sounds like a horrible word, but it is basically if you mash together physical and digital into a single word, and that is digital clothes that are worn by humans. And that's why when I'm looking at these images, I'm like, is she wearing that? Is this just transposed onto her body? I'm really not sure, but it is a fantastic, like, if you're really into Instagram and imagery, like it's like a rabbit hole. You can get lost for ages just trying to work out what each of these images are. And then we have Karina Nobbs and Marjorie Hernandez, and they're the power duo behind the Dematerialized. And it's an experiential fashion marketplace where you can buy digital designer pieces. Either you can pay using fiat money or crypto. And already they've launched partnerships with the likes of Karl Lagerfeld, Nicholas Kirkwood, and other fashion legends. And what I love about them is they've thought deeply about their use cases. So you can buy and wear your digital designer fashion on your own body and put that on social media, or you can place it on your avatar in a metaverse game and just have a little bit of a disco. Again, it's just like, for me, a lot of this stuff, I think like it's really quite interesting to see the level of innovation and to see where people are taking all of this. And I think the more you explore it, the more it opens you up to the different possibilities for different industries and how you might think about your work and does it apply in some way to the metaverse. So if a metaverse is a virtual world, then this presentation wouldn't be complete without highlighting some of the women building the actual worlds themselves and the spaces that we're going to play and socialize in. So if any of you are gamers, then you should definitely check out Myrtle Ann Ramos and her Place War blockchain metaverse game. So in it, you get to design, build, and battle these cute little tanks. And Place War is what's known as a play to earn game, which means that as a player, as you're playing the game, you earn place tokens, which are cryptocurrency tokens that can be traded or cashed out on a cryptocurrency exchange. So essentially, instead of just playing for points, you're playing for money. Now, I don't know how she fits it all in, but in addition to leading the Place War team, Myrtle Ann is also CEO of a very well-respected Web3 PR agency called Lifetise. Next up, I'm sure you're familiar with Bored Ape NFTs, and I'd love to know if anyone in the audience happens to have one, or any of the similar ones, do share. So they're probably the most famous collection of NFTs that we have so far. And Yuga Labs, who are the creators of Bored Apes, under their CEO, Nicole Muniz, last month dropped this teaser for their metaverse. And their metaverse is called The Other Side. And you can just see like the production quality of this teaser. And in the Other Side metaverse, you can buy virtual land. You can own that land, you can build on it, rent it out, host events on it, whatever you want to do. Now, the Other Side land sale was so popular that sales of virtual land in that metaverse made $561 million for Yuga Labs in just 24 hours. So it just gives you a sense of scale of this project. It's absolutely enormous. Who else do we have? Right, this one is cool. So Janine Yorio is CEO of Every Realm, and Every Realm is an investor and developer of NFT properties in the metaverse. So in other words, metaverse real estate. And their mission is to create places in the metaverse that people want to spend time in. So just like you would for a cool bar, restaurant, or hotel in the real world. They launched in April 21, And they built this yacht that you can see on the screen. And this yacht lives in the Sandbox metaverse game. The yacht is called the Metaflower Super Mega Yacht, and it has 2 helipads, a jacuzzi, and a dance floor. Oh, and someone paid $650,000 for it last year. So if you've ever been in the market for an NFT mega yacht, you're going to have to splash out $650,000, I'm afraid. Some of it absolutely blows my mind. So I want to end this presentation by giving a shout out to some women who are working on ethics and safety in the metaverse. One of the reasons I'm so keen to promote more gender and ethnic diversity in this space is because we as marginalized groups inherently understand the need to ensure that we're not just replicating all the same issues and harms from the real world or even Web 2 into these new 3D digital worlds. So I wanted to give kudos to the women actively working on projects to make these virtual worlds safe and inclusive for all. First up, the fantastically named Jessica Outlaw. Now, Jessica's research agency, The Extended Mind, conducts user studies and applies behavioral science to help technology companies design inclusive, safe, and ethical immersive experiences. They dig deep into people's preferences for privacy, consent, and data sharing. And they've done some really interesting research on how to build consumer trust and safety in 3D environments. So if you're interested in kind of the ethics side of things, I definitely encourage you to check out Jessica's work. And finally, Britton Heller, who is a leading lawyer specializing in the intersection of law, technology, and human rights. And her work examines issues like combating cyber harassment, cyberbullying, civil rights, and human rights in innovations like artificial intelligence, extended reality, and gaming. And she promotes justice and fair treatment in the digital environment. Oh, I wish I had more time, as there are so many more amazing women I could showcase. I'm putting all of this into a Twitter thread, so you can learn more about each of these women and their projects and connect with them and support them, plus some that I couldn't fit into this talk. So please check that out on Twitter at Cas_Lifetise. And also, if you know other women who are building great things in this space, please add them to the thread so they can get their recognition too. I've got 3 minutes left for any questions that people have. And before I do, I just wanted to say thank you so much for being a great audience. And I hope that you've been as inspired as I have. I was just saying in the chat that I need to put the Twitter thread together, so I'll do that straight after this session with all of the women and their projects that I featured and links to all of their work so that you've got like one single space to be able to find everything, because I appreciate that was a real whistle-stop tour. And unless you were kind of recording it or taking screenshots, you're not going to have actually been able to make a note of any of their Twitter handles. So yeah, it will have everyone in it that I've mentioned today, plus a few others that I couldn't quite sneak in. And you'll be able to find them. And I'd love it if you're able to kind of give them some support. That would be fantastic. And thank you all so much. I've enjoyed this mainly because there's something wonderful about being able to showcase so many different people doing so many cool things. I hope you have a great rest of the conference.